Yesterday, 3 finalists were announced as the 2022 Associated Press Coach of the Year. They are Kyle Shanahan of the San Francisco 49ers, Doug Peterson of the Jacksonville Jaguars, and Brian Daboll of the New York Giants. Okay, Shanahan? Yes. Makes sense. 13 wins, NFC West division winners, 2 seed in the NFC, all while maneuvering between 3 starting quarterbacks? That's amazing, and to be honest, I think he should be the odds-on favorite. As for Doug Peterson, Jacksonville back-to-back years with the first overall pick, down in the dumps. Peterson comes along, first-year coaching this team. They win the AFC South Division. No argument here. And then we get to Brian Daboll, and this is where we absolutely have an issue. The Giants, third in the NFC East with 9 wins. Now, if you were to win your division with 9 wins like Jacksonville did, no problem. But 3 games behind second place, 5 games behind first. How does that put you ahead of a guy like Kevin O'Connell? First in the NFC North, 13 wins. And by the way, both Daboll and KOC, first-year head coaches, both teams improved by 5 wins compared to last year when neither of them made the playoffs. Make it make sense. He shouldn't be ahead of Kevin O'Connell. He shouldn't be ahead of Nick Sirianni. If it were Shanahan, Peterson, and Sirianni as the AP's 3 finalists for Coach of the Year, cool. But Brian Daboll? Sirianni, the Eagles last year, they went second in the NFC East, 9 wins. They improved this year by 5 wins, number 1 seed overall in the NFC, dominated. And Brian Daboll is ahead of him too? And the fact that Kevin O'Connell wasn't on the NFL's list of 5 finalists, which that's ridiculous. I don't even get what that's about. The NFL, here are your 5 finalists. Meanwhile, the AP, here are your 3 finalists. You couldn't work out a joint message? I swear, when it comes to sports, New York, they get all the favors, and good for them. Sidebar here, the Vikings added a 4th candidate to their official pool for defensive coordinator, Vikings defensive assistant Mike Pettine. I hope this is nothing more than doing your due diligence in the spirit of #culture. Pettine, after all, he's been in the building all season long. Maybe it's awkward if you didn't throw his name in the ringer for optics anyway, but there's no way in hell, if you're the Vikings, there's no way you're actually considering giving him the job, right? Going up against a guy like Flores, who has all the qualifications to be a head coach, Sean Desai, more recent success as defensive coordinator in Chicago, and Ryan Nielsen with direct involvement under the guidance of Dennis Allen, of course, but direct involvement for New Orleans defensive accomplishments. Pettine, between his last 2 gigs, Green Bay and Cleveland, has had plenty of opportunities. That's a 5-year span, right? 4 out of those 5 years, a below average defense under Mike Pettine. Which I get that below average doesn't necessarily mean bottom of the barrel, which the Vikings certainly were in 2022, but we've got to set our sights higher than that. The only reason that Pettine should get the DC job is because Nielsen, Flores, and Desai all coincidentally decided to withdraw their names from consideration. Now, Justin Jefferson, I said he wouldn't get it, but certainly deserves to be in conversation for MVP. He at least got that far. AP MVP finalists announced. 5 of them: Patrick Mahomes, Jalen Hurts, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, and Justin Jefferson. MVP, most valuable player, essentially the best quarterback award, that's going to go to Patrick Mahomes. All you non-quarterback positions, you can all fight over Offensive Player of the Year, which in my opinion, Jefferson, he's got that award locked up in the bag. Now, going back to defensive coordinator real quick, 1 through 4, how would you rank the candidates? 1 being absolutely hands down, this is the guy. 4 being hell no. And I will say that after talking with Declan Goff this past Monday, it's clear that this defense, they're going to need a couple of years to turn it around. We need someone, a defensive coordinator that's going to be committed for the long haul to right this ship. And Brian Flores, number 1 on my list, basically having to start his career from scratch again after getting blackballed from the league after suing them. An assistant in Pittsburgh, he's far too overqualified for that job, but shout out to Mike Tomlin for giving him that opportunity. Defensive coordinator, also overqualified. He should be a head coach. The concern I have is, well, assume that he kicks ass in 23. That is, if the Vikings were to hire him as defensive coordinator. Will he take off in 24 as a head coach somewhere else? I wouldn't blame him if he were to do that. The yeah, but to that is, okay, as long as you have a number 2 guy in charge, have a good defensive staff in place. Whoever the number 2 guy is in charge after Flores, groom him to presumably take over in 2024, pick up where Flores left off, and you'll be fine. your rankings 1 through 4 for defensive coordinator of the Vikings. Leave them in the comments section below. We're back at it tomorrow. We'll see you then.